Iran continues to dominate, and the president talked about it today. He's putting forth a very confident view of the military action, as he has to as commander-in-chief. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So some bad news for the president today. A man named Joe Kent, top U.S. counterterrorism official, 45 years old, career Army, patriot, who the president nominated to run the Counterterrorism Center, the NCTC. I don't know much about that. Anyway, he quit, saying that Iran not an imminent danger to the USA. So he's out, and that embarrasses President Trump and the Trump administration. I guess that's what Mr. Kent wanted to do. Now, he's a Gold Star husband. His wife was killed in Syria in a terror suicide bombing. So this is a guy who's got emotion in fighting terrorism, but he does not believe that the Iranian action is warranted at this time. I can't report any more than that. I can't analyze the situation. I don't get the daily intel reports. I don't know. Now, today, when I'm over at the White House, I'm going to be doing some information gathering, and we will have, I hope, an unbelievable guest for our weekly podcast that will probably drop on Wednesday night. I can't say who, because this is a very delicate negotiation, but if I get that person, a lot of clarity will emerge. All right, so stay with us as always. Israel says it killed two top Iranian commanders yesterday. Their names don't really matter, but they were bad guys and deeply involved with the terrorist state of Iran. So they're dead, and the action goes on. Donald Trump is postponing his trip to China. That's pretty big. He was supposed to go at the end of this month, but he says now, because of the Iranian action, he's going to delay it. Roll the tape.
Right now, we're speaking to China. I'd love to, but because of the war, I want to be here. I have to be here, I feel. And so we've requested that we delay it a month or so.
Okay. The wise thing to do. China is kind of in the background. They're not doing much, even though they're very dependent on Iranian oil. I believe the United States could make some of that up, and that's going to be part of the discussions down the road. NATO got hammered by the president today. They're not stepping up. Are you surprised? I'm not. NATO despises President Trump. It's personal. And you can say all you want to say about it, but it's true. The Greenland stuff, the taunting, Europe is weak, all of that, they don't like it over there in Europe. And their interests are different than our interests. But what's really disturbing to me as a citizen of the world, remember, I've been in 86 countries, almost every European country, and I know what's going on over there, is that Europe has never really engaged in a war on terror, even after 9/11. We really never have done it. We have done all the heavy lifting in the world. If you read my book, Killing the Killers, about the dismantling of Al-Qaeda and ISIS and others, it's all the United States. Afghanistan, 90% USA. Iraq war, 90% USA. Some of the policies didn't work. But Europe has never really, even though they got hit time after time after time, they don't really care. Germany's the worst. The quote out of the German government is, "This is not our war. We have not started it," unquote. Well, you're ungrateful, Germany, and I'll tell you what. I'm really not pleased with Berlin. Ever since World War II, we've carried that country at a great expense. Okay, so after Third Reich was defeated by the Allies, we rebuilt, the United States rebuilt Germany. We didn't have to do that. Did not have to do it. Germans had no money, no ability to rebuild their own country. We did it. And when Stalin came in and tried to take it over, we opposed Stalin and the Soviet Union at great expense. And ever since then, we've carried Germany. Carried them. Are they grateful? No, they are not. Never have been. Not a big fan of the German government. Beautiful country, been all over it. Government? Mm-mm. Spain's a socialist country. Wouldn't even allow U.S. Military planes to refuel on its soil. I'd boot Spain right out of NATO. They don't pay their dues. I don't know if you could do that, how you do it, but I propose let's boot them out. Why do we need them? And I'm not a jingoist, word of the day. I'm not. America is the greatest. We should do whatever we want. But this is ridiculous. Italy is an exception. Italy's a good, strong ally to the USA. But they don't care, in general, the EU and NATO, about what Iran does or what their potential for violence is. And the reason they don't care is they don't like Israel. Across the board in Europe, Israel's got no friends there. None. Now, you can go back in history, you can do anti-Semitism. I don't know exactly why that is, but it's there. It has been there for thousands of years. And that is part of the equation. But they're weak. Collectively speaking, Europe is a very weak continent. Asia, much stronger than, but the Asians aren't stepping up either. So the USA is alone in dismantling Iran, along with Israel, of course, but pretty much alone. And that is not a good situation. Now, back home, according to Rasmussen poll, which is very friendly to President Trump, sample is good. Question is, based on what you know, how successful has the military operation against Iran been so far? Very somewhat successful, 61%, big number. Not very not successful at all, 29, not sure 11. So that's a good poll for President Trump, but I guarantee you get a poll tomorrow from CNN or The Economist or one of these, say the exact opposite. So who knows? The Republican base still supports the president's action in Iran, except for the isolationists. And there are not many of them. All right. So what I would do, and if I do get to speak to the president today, which I don't think I'm going to, it's kind of a madhouse over there. I'd say, look, remember the COVID briefings? We need to do that with Iran. A couple of times a week, get the generals, not Hegseth, no political players at all, none. Just the general, the admiral in charge, a sit rep, which is a situation report for the American people, maybe twice a week. Here's what's happening. Boom, 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 boom. That would help. The word imminent, very troublesome. I'm going to get to the bottom of that, though, or I'm going to die trying. And tomorrow and the rest of the week, we're going to have some very good information here. And that is the memo.